All right, let's talk about those big, intimidating algebra questions. You know, the ones worth a ton of marks that can make your brain just completely freeze? Well, today, we're going to tackle one of those head on. And look, this isn't just about finding the right answer. It's about cracking the code of the mark scheme itself, so you can walk away with every single point.
So, here it is, the big one. Question 15, straight from a GCSE paper, and it's worth a whopping 6 marks. Now it's broken down into 3 little chunks, parts A, B, and C. The real secret here is figuring out how the examiner gives out the points for each part. If we get that, we get all the marks. It's as simple as that.
First up is part A. Think of this as the warm-up, you know? It's a pretty quick simplification that's really designed to get you on the board and feeling good about the rest of the question. Okay, so here's what we're looking at. We've got a fraction to simplify. On the top, it's a minus 3 all squared. And on the bottom, we've got 5 multiplied by a minus 3.
Now, the first trick is just to remember what squared actually means, right? It just means something multiplied by itself. So a minus 3 squared is just a minus 3 times a minus 3. As soon as you write it out like that, bam, it becomes super obvious. You've got the same a minus 3 term on the top and on the bottom. And what do we do with those? We just cancel them out. Gone. So let's look at the mark scheme. This is so important. For this part, you get one single mark, and they call it a B1 mark. Now, what does that mean? In examiner land, a B mark is basically an unconditional accuracy mark. You literally don't even have to show your work. As long as you have the right answer down on the paper, you get the point. It's kind of like a gift, really.
And after all that canceling, we're left with this nice, clean answer, a minus 3 divided by 5. Just like that, 1 mark is in the bag. Easy.
All right, on to part B. Things get a little more interesting here. This is a classic 2-marker, you've got to factorize a quadratic expression.
So the expression we need to wrestle into a pair of brackets is 3k squared plus 11k minus 4.
Okay, so how do we do this? Well, the method is pretty solid. We're looking for 2 magic numbers. They need to multiply to give us the first number times the last number. So 3 times negative 4, which is negative 12. And at the same time, they've got to add up to that middle number, plus 11. Multiply to minus 12, add to plus 11. That's got to be plus 12 and negative 1, right? Perfect. Now we just use those 2 numbers to split that middle 11k term. See how it becomes plus 12k minus k? From there, we just factorize by grouping. Pull 3k out of the first pair and a negative 1 out of the second. And would you look at that, you get that k plus 4 bracket appearing in both parts. That's always a great sign. That means you're doing it right. Then you just group everything together for the final answer.
And again, let's decode the mark scheme, because this is crucial. You get 2 marks here. The first is an M1, a method mark. You get this just for getting the basic structure right, showing you know it's going to be something like 3k something and k something. Even if your pluses and minuses are all wrong, you get that M1 for trying the right method. But that second mark, the A1 or accuracy mark, that one's tough. You have to be perfect. The signs, the numbers, everything. That little KO they write means correct answer only. No partial credit for that one.
And that perfect answer is 3k minus 1 times k plus 4. Boom! 2 more marks secured. We're on a roll.
All right, we've banked 3 marks. Now for the grand finale, part C. This is definitely the trickiest part of the question. It's where all the skills come together with some nasty-looking algebraic fractions. So here's what they throw at us. Simplify 4 minus x squared over x squared plus 3x, and all of that is divided by x plus 2 over x plus 3. Whew. Okay, don't panic. There's a tried and true 3-step plan for these. First step, factorize everything you possibly can. That 4 minus x squared on the top left, that is a classic difference of 2 squares. Examiners absolutely love that pattern, so always keep an eye out for it. It becomes 2 minus x, 2 plus x. The bottom left, x squared plus 3x, that's easier, just x plus 3. Okay, step 2, get rid of that horrible division sign. How? We flip the second fraction and change the sign to a multiplication. You might have heard it as keep, change, flip. Same thing. And now for the best part, step 3, cancellation time. Anything that's the same on the top and bottom can just be crossed out. So satisfying. And look how the 3 mocks line up perfectly with our 3 steps. You get 1 method mark, an M1, just for doing the factorizing correctly. You get a second M1 for doing the whole flip and multiply thing. And then Only after all that, you get the A1 accuracy mark for having the correct, fully simplified answer at the very end.
So after all that chaos of canceling, what are we left with? This beautifully simple little fraction, 2 minus x all over x. And that is it. We've totally solved this beast of a question.
So let's just take a step back for a second and see what we did. We took this big, complicated, multi-part question, and we just broke it down, piece by methodical piece. And by doing that, we've nailed all 6 marks. I love this because it shows the whole journey. On the left, you've got the original question. Kind of intimidating, right? But on the right, there's our full solution. It just goes to show that something that looks super complex at first can be broken down into really logical, totally manageable steps.
And that's the whole solution, top to bottom. So now that you've seen how it's all done, and more importantly, how the marks are given out, I've got a question for you. Where's the weak spot? What do you think is the easiest place to drop a mark on this question? Is it messing up a plus or a minus sign when you're factorizing? Is it forgetting to flip that second fraction? Or maybe not spotting that difference of 2 squares? Really thinking about where the traps are is one of the best ways to make sure you don't fall into them. Thanks for working through this one with me.